Welcome to Fortune Cookies Tarot. This was a viewer question that I promised I would dive into. We're going to have another one for Scandals on Thursday. Tell you a little bit about that at the end of this one. But this one, we are going to be talking about whether the United States is going to see an attack. Now, some of you follow Lionel Nation just like I do, and he's been talking about how we are long overdue for one of those FF events, if you know what I mean. If you know, you know. But let's see if we are going to have a large-scale coordinated attack on U.S. soil in the next 12 months. I'll be right back. Welcome back, Tarot Maniacs. So what we're going to be looking at today is maybe a little bit scary for some of you. So trigger warning, if you're worried about some global attacks, things like that, get out now. Go watch the thing that I did on Sydney Sweeney and Orlando Bloom. You see, maybe there's some love in Bloom. Not for a while. It's coming up. But as this is World Politics Wednesday, and this was such a great request, I'm going to do it today instead of looking at some crazy politics. We are waiting for a thunderstorm, so hopefully our power is going to hold out. And we're just going to look at the energy in different areas and see if there's any threats nearby. So we're going to look at some global locations. So stick with me. It's not going to just be the United States. I have a universal audience here. So I thought it would be a good idea that if we looked at everything. So I'm going to bring up the card view. Before I do that, I'm going to let you know I'm using two of my oldest decks here. I'm using my mini Rider-Waite that I've had since I was 18. And I'm using the Ellen Cannon Reed. You guys know I mean business if Ellen Cannon Reed comes out. That is a super rare deck. It's hard to find. I cherish it. I'm grabbing it before I grab everything else if the house catches fire. So not true. I'm going to grab the cats. You know I'm going to grab the cats. But let's pull up that card view. And as I do that, hit the like button. Let me know what you think down below. And again, if you're a little bit worried about things like this, I want you to go watch one of my other videos. What is going on with my screens here, kids? What is going on with my screens? There we go. We got the screens. And here we go. Get rid of that selenite. And we're going to put these minis on the side. So start at the beginning. Is there an energetic signature that suggests that there's a large-scale coordinated attack on U.S. soil in the next 12 months? Let's see. Ooh, so the universe is actually the world card in the Ellen Cannon Reed deck. So this is the end, but also the beginning. We're going to see some things open up. And the Magician. So I am going to say the vital systems that are in the United States are going to be under attack. I immediately got electrical, but it could be water. Remember, my good friend Alicia Wicker has been reading on crisis in the United States, and she keeps getting water everywhere and not a drop to drink. So let's see if we can clarify this. If we get some wands, possibly electrical. I'm seeing, now that could also be cyber attacks, so we'll ask some questions about that too. Pentacles, Page of Swords, Knight of Cups, that's water. We got water coming, the Star and the Moon. I do think that there's going to be something involved with water, but I am feeling electrical impulses. Are we looking at dams? Damn the man. Going from crazy waters into smooth. Yes, I do think we're going to see some attacks on our dams. So Hoover Dam, amazing, impressive construction there. And could be quite a disaster if it busted open. Just saying, something happened there. So yeah, I do think that there's going to be an attack on the United States soil, but I do think that it's going to be on an a vital system in the United States. I don't think they're necessarily going to go for collateral damage as much as they're going to go for a sustained disruption of life. So life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. On the cusp of 4th of July, we are talking about all those things, guys. So are there foreign actors influencing this? We're going to look at foreign actors first.
Like Tom Hiddleston?
Like who?
Like Tom Hiddleston?
No. Is it Loki?
Yeah. I thought you came
Had to pause for a second, guys. I started coughing. So we've got 7 of Pentacles in reverse, Strength in reverse, 8 of Cups in reverse. So what we've got, and I had to shuffle again because I didn't want anyone to accuse me of setting up the cards for the remainder of that. And let's just cover them up a little bit here, guys. Covering them up. I know. It's kind of ridiculous, but sometimes people get weird about this. So what I do think we have here is disrupting the systems. This, I think, is going to be a multi-phased attempt. I think they're going to attempt to get us over to another type of system, either for the electrical or the water processing. I think they're going to attempt to do that. The impatience has really worn thin at this point. The way we've been doing it was not working. Their patience is up. They are sick of waiting for the revolution. They are going to bring it. So this is our Fight Club end of the movie moment. They're going to try and bust some things up. They know it's going to be a heavy road ahead, but they don't want the comeback story of Donald Trump and the Republican Party or the party of good sense to actually be able to do this. Now, the Prince of Wands, I do think that there is someone, this is domestic, guys. Like, I just want you guys to know this. Like, I strongly get that this is a domestic thing. Sorry about that, kids. The cough is back. So I do think that this is a domestic threat, that the effort is to spin the Wheel of Fortune. When we get the Wheel of Fortune, sometimes it's taking a gamble, taking a risk on what things are going on, and it is to break up the band. We want to Yoko Ono all of this. You know, we just want to get in there and create a the illusion of a poor response, the illusion of a bad response from the government. And then down here, the Hangman in reverse. Didn't you learn your lesson the first time? You didn't learn your lesson the first time. So I do think that it's going to be, I'm getting Hoover Dam. I'm getting a damn the dams. It's a damn situation. So is it a Is it an FF? Is it an FF? Is it an FF? Are we going to get an FF? Or is it the real deal? Let's see. FF or real deal? It's a real deal. It's not a fake, guys. So, you know, if we're dependent on, you know, water, how long can you live without water, Greg? 3 days?
Yeah.
3 days. So if they interfered with water systems, they would have 3 days, unless people were smart and they had some water. So New York City. Is New York City a high-risk energy zone? New York is not going to be as high risk as you think. So, I mean, people that are afraid of New York being a dangerous place, and I know that there's another psychic out there, he channels, and he said there are people coming up from the subways. You know, there are things happening. I think that New York is more apt to have chaos and chaotic behavior rather than truly destructive behavior. I mean, we had 9/11. I get it. I'm not being flip by saying that. I don't think that this is going to be that kind of a disruption. I think really they don't want to go to the power centers necessarily. I think they're going wide and not tall, if that makes sense. So it's not the drama of a place that we all know and love and are familiar with. It is going wide and having widespread issues. So New York, if we're looking at New York City, I think there is disruption in the streets, but not what people think. It's like people aren't going to be running around with machetes. It's not going to be Escape from New York. It's not going to be like that. It's just going to be chaotic because there are going to be power outages in New York, but it's section by section. It's not the whole thing. We're going section by section. And I do think that the federal government sends in lots of resources. There is something about New York that needs to be protected. There are things underground, and I want to say that there are gold resources that are hidden away in some recesses in New York. I am getting that there are these big iron side buildings. They're not really made out of iron, but they look like they're made out of iron. And there are deposits of gold underneath them, not raw gold, like it's being stored there.
The Verizon building, it's like no windows in it.
The Verizon building
I
with
think
no
it's
windows?
Verizon building. You ever see it?
No.
It's a crazy looking building in the middle of New York. It's a
Okay.
skyscraper, but it has no windows on it.
Has no windows. That's not what I'm seeing. I'm seeing more of a squat, like it almost looks like a church. The shape that I'm seeing, and there, I think that some of the gold from the reserve is there. I'm saying that right now, guys. So there you go. Is that a little Futurecast? Futurecast. So I think New York gets preserved because there is some money stored under there. I'm wondering if maybe that's why they flew those planes into the buildings, but that's a tale for another day.
Like number 7?
I don't think it's in that building. It's in like it looks like a church. It looks like a church or a bank.
Not there anymore.
Yeah, I mean no, I don't think it was in there, is what I'm saying. But it looks like a church or a bank, and it's stone. The building is stone. It's like this slate steely gray. So everybody go shopping. No. So I think New York has a bit of chaos. How's Mayor Adams going to deal with that? Mayor Adams, he's a retired cop. How's he going to deal with that? Is he going to work? New York is his baby. He's going to take care of it. He's not going to act like a nitwit. He is going to work with the federal government and National Guard, whomever. New York, don't worry about it. It's going to be fine. I think Kay will be relieved about that. Let's take a look at Washington, D.C. Now, I absolutely think that the White House is regularly targeted. I do think that the White House is regularly targeted for these events, chaotic, disruptive events that happen on U.S. soil. Is Washington, D.C. going to have an issue? So I don't think that Washington, D.C. has the issue with the water. They are going to have electrical issue too. There's going to be some power shut off. That's going to cause a problem from wherever their water comes from, whatever aquifer their water comes from. There's something about Maryland and into Pennsylvania that I'm seeing. There's some waterway that is going to cause a problem. And I think that there's a disruption along that aquifer. I think there's something that a ground penetrating blows that up and disrupts the flow of water to DC. But DC is actually a ghost town right now. It's not what you guys think. The government is functioning there, but and it's the seat, it's the capital of our country, but it's not really where everything happens. Everything kind of happens out in the world. Everything is happening out in the greater part. So the capital is no longer logistically in Washington D.C. It is there's Colorado, of course, right, Greg?
Is it a little house known as the Meadows?
It's no, it's under the airport.
Is that? There's also.
There's the location in the mountain.
I always forget the name of that mountain.
I forget the name of the mountain too. We're not supposed to remember it.
Yeah, apparently.
But the U.S. government is no longer just in Washington D.C. So if I'm going to tell everybody right now, if we see something happen to that White House, which the White House has already burned down once, but if we see something happen to our beloved White House, I don't want you guys to freak out. Okay, I want you guys to chill out, not freak out. It is not the end of the world because the government is not running through that. We don't have papers anymore. It's not like that. The government will continue to run. So there is a White House on the doomsday planes that the president has. So there's Air Force One, Air Force Two, and then there's some other ones. Sorry guys, I'm blowing that up. But not blowing that up, blowing up that story.
Don't say that.
So that's secret. So in this particular scenario, I think it's very important to remember that we are going to have different people in different places. Pete Hegseth is going to rise to the occasion when the chaos gets a foothold. We're going to see a lot more of Pete Hegseth. It's almost like she's ripping off his shirt and he's like Superman underneath. But we are going to see a lot more
Willie from The Simpsons
of him. He is going to be a great problem solver. I think he is probably energetically the most likely to step into that presidential role as well. Just saying, for the next term, I think he's going to run. He's young, he's cute, knows how to conduct himself, got a six-pack. So I don't want, it's almost like DC is going to, not in the next year, but in like the next 10, 15 years, DC is going to do the same thing that Buckingham Palace does. It's not, Buckingham Palace really is an office. This is an office and everybody works remotely. So I don't think that we have much to worry about. If you're in the DC area, what do you need to know? You don't have to go to work every day. It's going to be okay. It really is. I don't want to say a paper tiger because that suggests that we're weak and but it really is kind of a stage set. Thank you, Joe Biden. It really is a stage set in DC. We don't have to be there to be a country. The spirit of America is now seated in several places. There is a location near upstate New York. I'm not sure like kind of where it is. It's kind of, I don't know if it's a moving target or what. There's a place in Colorado. There's also a place in New Mexico that our country can be run by. I believe that there were places in California, but they have pulled back from those. I don't think they're very interested in them. And Ohio or Indiana? Where did you see your that silo, Greg?
Ohio.
That was Ohio?
Mm-hmm. Right, Patterson.
Patterson.
Right outside of Right Patterson Airport.
So let's look at Texas. Let's look at Texas. Texas, yeehaw. Howdy. Anything we have to be worried about in Texas? Texas is not taking any nonsense right now. And I think that Governor Abbott, good dude, like to see him run too. And pardon me, my bruise has gotten much more dramatic looking, as have my readings. Governor Abbott, Texas. The only thing I see coming for Texas is a little bit of storm season. We don't have to worry about that until I guess it's June through October or something like that. So yeah, we're in storm season now. But I think we're gonna see a little hurricane. I shouldn't say little hurricane. We're gonna see a little bit of a hurricane come through. I also see twisters. So perhaps we're gonna see a bit more robust of a tornado season. So keep that in mind. But I don't see anything that is manufactured issues there. Governor Abbott has the state well in hand. He's not playing any games. So Las Vegas. Las Vegas. Let's see how Las Vegas. Anybody care? Nah, Las Vegas is fine. No one's hitting Las Vegas. Las Vegas is. If you read The Stand by Stephen King or watch the TV miniseries, great miniseries, by the way. Gary Sinise, Molly Ringwald, Rob Lowe, Dauber from Coach, I don't know what his name is, was really a fantastic series. And it's a great book. Las Vegas was where all the baddies went. Kansas, I think, was where everyone went to go stay with Mother Abigail. So Las Vegas. Yeah, Las Vegas doesn't have anything to worry about. Chill out, Las Vegas. Is the issue with the water going to affect them? No, I see great big cisterns of water in Las Vegas that are preserved, and they're not going to have this issue from that. Las Vegas is well prepared for any kind of water situation. Now, Los Angeles already had a water situation. No water in the fire hydrants. Los Angeles, are we going to have a situation there? All right. Los Angeles. Often we talk about the soft white underbelly of society. Los Angeles, no offense. I know you guys go to the gym a lot, but y'all are like pampered poodles that are really in good shape. You guys think that money can buy you love, but the reality is that some of the individuals there are very poorly prepared for crisis. You might run on the treadmill for 12 miles a week, but the reality is that you're not going to be able to outrun lava, water, mudslides, those kinds of things. The yelping for helping is not going to cut it in this situation, because I do think that there's something about the water not being consumable, not being potable. And so, like the movie This Is the End, where James Franco had water right there, right through this concrete. They didn't have any water in the house. And that's, I think, kind of the problem here, is that they're not taking into account what could possibly happen. So, a lot of these celebrities are building bunkers and building kind of doomsday locations. One of the cool things, when I was looking for a house in Los Angeles, real estate agent told us, if on the inspection they tell you that there's a structure under the house, don't freak out, because in the nuclear age during the Cold War, a lot of families um, built bomb shelters and didn't tell anybody. And so they like wouldn't even tell their kids sometimes when their kids grew up and inherited the house and sold it. They had no idea there was a bomb shelter there. So I was so excited. I was like really hoping I was going to get a house with a bomb shelter in it. I did not. I did not get a bomb shelter at my house, but I did get an amazing basement. Not a lot of basements in Los Angeles. I was built into the mountain. But I think something very interesting happens here because I think that Los Angeles and California, Southern California, I actually Los Angeles. I want to say Los Angeles and the surrounding cultures around that realize that preparedness would have been good. Would have been good. I do think now Los Angeles has a lot of shootings and things like that. I do think that there's going to be a bit of unrest and almost like these traveling bands that go from place to place and are just causing havoc, kind of like warriors come out and play, but not gang. They're just going to be kind of going around. There's a bit of a psychosis that I'm seeing that when the ish hits the fan, that there are these groups that start to kind of go around. So, if they are like an outgrowth of protesters or if they are an emulation of protesters, I think it's pretty wild and concerning. I will say that. So I do think that that's something that Los Angeles looks like it's going to get really the worst of this. The dam thing, I think affects a lot of people, but I think that there are some places that are better prepared than others. Los Angeles doesn't feel like we've got too many lights out, but it feels like we've got, water problems, we've got chaos problems, we've got drama problems. So I think we're looking at that. So let's take a quick look at some of the international spots, just real quick. Okay. I know the original question was will the U.S. be attacked? So I want to answer that. So I do think that the U.S. will have an event or a series of events in the next year, but I think most of it is domestic. I think most of it is born and bred right here. They may use some parties. I have not looked into the Idaho firefighter situation. I want to look into that because the shooter in that situation and the parents are firmly, thank you, being branded as MAGA. Sorry, I slurped my tea, guys. So the answer is yes. But let's look at some international hot zones. Russia and Ukraine. What can we expect out of that? Like, what are we doing there? What are we doing there? Zelensky finally put a suit on. What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? What do we got? Justice. Oops. You're supposed to be over here. Put you. Oh, I don't even know. Nope, you're supposed to be over here. Sorry, I mixed up my Alicia Wicker sets. 9. What is pregnant? What is pregnant? So, Futurecast, guys. I do think very much that one of the parties is going to run out of ammunition, so to speak. They are going to run out of the things that will make the war continue. And I do think that the other party says, oh, goody, goody gumdrops. I am going to count my spoils of war and I'm not going to concede any of this. So, sometimes after wars, territories that have been obtained will be parceled back to the other party. I don't think that that's going to be the case here. And I think that whoever negotiates this truce is going to have a quiet word with one of the parties and say, dude, you got to let this go. Like, there's no out of this. What's going to happen to that dude? That dude is not going to want to give it up, but he is not wanted there. And I do think he'll be held accountable by his own people for what he has done, for the losses that they have suffered, for the continuation of all of that nonsense. How about the other dude? How's the other dude going to fare? You guys can figure out which dude is which. How's the other dude going to fare? Page of Wands. I think he gets what he wants. I think he winds up with territories that he wants. I think he digs his heels in. And I don't think he's gracious about it. I think he's like, well, that's what you get, you jerk. I think that's really his attitude about it. So I think that we're going to see energies right now. I think we're going to see the business of Ukraine, Russia start to peter out. I think that's going to calm down. And I think they're going to come to the conclusion that one half of the equation is really running out of juice. We've been saying that for a while, but I think now it's like literally running out of juice. So let's talk about Taiwan a little bit. Let's see what's going on in Taiwan. What are the tensions in the area? Are they increasing, decreasing? What's going on? What's going on? So I do think that there's sweet negotiations going on. I think I know they're not at war, but I think that there are some overtures of, hey, why can't we be friends? I do think that there is a plan to kind of present that. How does that work? How does that work out? 5 Wands, King of Pentacles, demanding. Are we looking at potential cyber attacks? I'm not seeing a lot of wands here. Seeing Pentacles, this land is my land. This land's not your land. Princess of Pentacles, I'm gonna take it on this island. Are we going to see cyber attacks? So that was one of the questions that I had in here. Are we going to see cyber attacks that originate from one side to the other in Taiwan and South China Sea? 5 of Swords, the Emperor, there he is with his wand, and Ace of Pentacles. No, I think it's going to be strictly over land. While we're talking about that, let's just back it up. What about cyber attacks in the United States? Are we going to see some cyber attacks? I'm going to switch it up to this deck. We're going to go itty bitty. So everybody get your readers on. Squint if you have to. We looking at cyber attacks in the United States. I want to say that after we see some strategic systems attacked, then we see some cyber attack stuff going on. There we go. System shut down. And that confirms the physical systems being broken. It takes everybody out of control, everybody out of power. Strength, again, sick of waiting around for this. Queen of Wands, yeah, cyber attack. Is it going to come from maybe one of those people in Southeast, wherever? Yeah. And, It's almost like they're going to shut the lights out so they can steal all the liquor in the room or steal all the jewelry in the room. It's like a little cartoon. Like, we're going to shut the lights out and then we're just going to grab everything that we can and we're going to run out and no one will notice. So I'm sorry I'm laughing at this, guys. But honestly, like, get yourself a little bit of food stores, have some bottled water on hand. We'll make it through. United States will make it through. We will endure, just like Barnabas in Dark Shadows.
They're going to attack the Hoover Dam. Isn't there a risk that Megatron's going to be released?
Megatron?
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe.
That's what they're holding him.
So, so in the Middle East, let's talk about our embassies. Are our embassies going to be okay? So, let's see. Let's look at Yemen. Yemen. I think Yemen's okay. I think they already tried. Let's look at Kuwait, where my lovely Pusheen came from. I kissed her again today. Kuwait, I think, is okay. I think we've got a lot of good team members in Kuwait. I think there's a lot of support systems there.
She's the most decent cat.
Huh?
She's the most decent cat.
Well, that's India.
Yeah.
That's PRE. Saudi. How's our embassy in Saudi? Now that I think we have some interesting stuff going on. I think we do have to do a little bit of defending there. The Saudis don't want this kind of trouble on their lands, but I don't think they love us. Just saying. Just saying. So we're gonna leave it at that. I think I'm going a little too far. So so let's ask, what is being hidden from the public regarding U.S. national security?
Megatron being held in the Hoover Dam.
Queen of Swords, the threat that is really here, the cultivated threat that is really here. And that the purpose of the threat is to untie the unity of the people. It is to make people question. So there's going to be events and things that sow doubt. And we did see this with the nuclear facility in Iran. So there were reports that were coming back that said we never even bombed it. We never even touched it. Nothing happened. There's pictures. There's no pictures, but people are claiming that they have pictures and anecdotal evidence that there was nothing done by the U.S. bombing. I mean, we saw all those explosions. Is it wag the dog? I think what we are seeing is counterintelligence. Is that the correct word? Counterintelligence?
In what regard?
They're trying to make us, they're gaslighting us to make us think that we didn't see what we saw.
Yeah, that would be a counterintelligence. Not necessarily like exactly that's the term is, but it's propaganda.
I think it is propaganda, and I do think it's a wag the dog situation. It is to make people question their sanity, question their government, question the validity of the things that they're hearing. We're seeing this in real time. Over here, 7 of Cups is gaslighting. We're seeing more of the traditional gaslighting that we have seen from the government when they want to hide something, like
Megatron?
JFK, RFK, Martin Luther King Jr. So all of those things. And again, like, I'm very curious about the Idaho fires with the firefighters that were taken out by that sole shooter. And allegedly his parents lit the fire so that he could go in there and do it. It doesn't make any sense unless you want to say that MAGA people are crazy. I have to look at it. I don't know the whole story. I have to look at it. But over here, the true power and the true ingenuity of the American people is what they want. They want us not to know who the enemy is. And I think some of you that watch my channel know that there is another situation where people don't know who the enemy is in this whole back and forth in the Megxit community. People don't know who the real enemy is. People are assuming different names and creating new channels and doing all this stupid stuff, wasting a lot of energy instead of moving forward and doing something really interesting and worthwhile. And I think that this is what we are seeing in the subterfuge. It's the year of subterfuge, guys. I think we are seeing the attempted dismantling of the way that we think and the confidence that we have in the government. I think that that's really what we're looking at. And I'm one of those people, the media, I haven't believed them for a long time. I do think the media is quite curious in their delivery of certain informations. And I think that now we're starting to see this on a broader scale from the briefings from government and briefings from media sources, and also crowdsourced news like here on YouTube. We are citizen journalists that are out here. I am not. I am a tarot reader. I'm a psychic and a weirdo. But I do think that there is something afoot, and I think we should keep an eye on our dams and on the water. Damn the man. Damn the man. So, guys, we are awaiting a thunderstorm. I have one more reading today. I'm actually filming this on Tuesday. I have one more reading today. So I hope you are having a fantastic day. Please take advantage of my firecracker sale that I am having to celebrate 7,000 subscribers. And also 4th of July. It is one of my favorite holidays. My birthday is coming up soon. And July 1st is the beginning of my birthday season. Let me hit that plant. It's the beginning of my birthday season. So I'm excited. Birthday's coming up. I don't like the number, but whatever. I'm going to be 54. 54. I say it again, 54. It's going to be fine. Life is good. If I died tomorrow, I've lived 10 lives. So totally happy. Everyone, have a great day. Keep your powder dry. Get some food stores and some bottled water. And I will see you on the other side. Bye.